Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and I've given thousands of talks all over the world. And what I have found is that if you can start well in a speech or presentation, everything seems to flow from there. If you start poorly and you make a mistake or you're nervous, it affects everything that you say. So really good speakers like myself know exactly what they're going to say when they stand up. And they use a variety of different ways to start a talk, depending upon who they're talking to, who has spoken before, what the subject is, and so on. So let me just give you some different ways that you can use, and you can select the one that you like or the combination. The first, easiest of all, is when you get up there, is to thank the organizers and the audience. You say, thank you very much for having me here today. It's a great honor to be with you, some of the top people in this industry. You've got them in your hands from the get-go. By the way, when you're thanking the organizers, be very specific. I want to thank Bill Smith and Susan Aragon and Tom Jones, and give very specific names of key people in the audience with whom you've had some discussion. That causes them to feel that you're all one of the gang. Second of all, start with a positive statement. Some people think that they start with a downer. It's a good way to get attention. No, what I do, and I've used this for years, is I say, thank you very much for having me. I want you to know that we are looking at one of the very best times in human history, where there'll be more opportunities in this business to dominate our markets than ever before, but they'll be different from the past. So you start up and people say, oh, I wonder what they are. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Another thing you can do is compliment the audience. Sometimes what I will do is I will say, you know, it's a great honor to be here with you because I understand you are some of the top people in this company, which is recognized as one of the best organizations in the world in this industry. So wow, to get a chance to talk to you is a really big deal for me. Another way to start a talk is to refer to current events. You could say, did you see today in the newspaper where it said this, about that, about this, and so on and so forth? This is very important to us, and I'll show you why as we go through my talk today. People are listening. Refer to an historical event. Did you know that today, July 4th, in 1776, the Declaration of Independence was formed, which actually affected our entire lives and the lives of all our friends and families? Or refer to a well-known person. Is, you know, so-and-so who lives here just said this the other day, and how important that is as an observation? Or you can repeat a recent conversation. You get up and you say, hello, thank you very much for having me. I was just talking to Bill Smith over here, and he was telling me just before I came up here about the situation that you're facing in your business, and I thought, wow, that's a good place to start. You have the total attention of everyone. You can make a shocking statement. One of the great statements that I heard is that every single person here is going to be in a new business within 2 to 3 years, or they're going to be out of this industry altogether if they don't continually upgrade their skills. Wow. A friend of mine stood up in front of a medical audience, a room full of doctors, PhDs, and he said, do you know that 50% of all doctors graduated in the bottom half of their classes? And the audience was shocked. People came up to him at the break and said, how can you say something like that? Where are your statistics? Where's your research? He said, it's called mathematics. Half are above the mean, half are below. Even these doctors with 15 years of experience didn't know. So you can quote from recent research that they know about. You can give them hope by talking about what great opportunities lay in the future. Start off with something entertaining. Here's a funny one-liner, but be very careful with humor. You can ask a question. Let me ask you a question before we start, and have them raise their hands. Sometimes I will say, you're some of the top salespeople in the world, but you could do with more money. How many people here would like to double their income? Every hand in the room goes up. You've got the whole hand. If I could show you how to do that in the time we spend together, would that be a good use of our time? Whew, you have 100% attention. You can open with a problem. You can ask a question. You can start with a story. One of the things I always do is I build a bridge. A build a bridge is to find something that you both have in common. You can say, you know, I have spent many hours studying your industry and I've spoken to several people in your business. Or, I used to work in your business or industry when I was a young man, so I know what you're facing. Or, you can say, how many people here have children? Good. Well, I have 2 children of my own, and boy, this is a very interesting learning experience, isn't it? Everybody nods their head. Build a bridge of commonality between them and you so they see this all together on the same side.